Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of the In the Pocket podcast. I am your host, Kevin Chip Yinyard, and I am super excited that you took the time out on this Friday night to hang out with us. We have a lot of information, a lot of ground to cover, and I'm so honored tonight to have a living legend with me tonight. Oh, man, I come from the era of reading credits and CDs and going to Sam Goody and Best Buy and FYE and buying CDs and actually opening. The feeling you get from tearing the plastic open when you buy your favorite album to support your artist, there's no feeling like that. And so I come from that era, and especially in gospel music, we wanted to know who was playing the records. We wanted to read the J card, as they called it, or the CD booklet. We would buy our cassettes. We would save our money. We would read the credits and find out who was playing these records that we love so much, because we had to learn them in church. We had to learn them and perfect them. You know, we had no internet. There was no streaming. So you had to save your money. You had to ask your parents for money. You had to earn money to go get these CDs and these projects. And so this gentleman was one of my inspirations. I'm not a keyboard player, but I am a producer. And I learned so much from listening to this man. His approach to music, as I said in the demo, in the promo, it changed my life, because he was doing things that were so musical, that were so foundational in music. He changed the scope of gospel music, the sound of gospel music. Gospel music had a sound a certain way, and Ced came on and changed the way that music was being projected. He has worked with some legendary artists, and we'll name all of them, and we'll talk about them and how he met them and how he came about to know them. But he, aside from him being a Grammy-winning, Stellar Award-winning producer, a keyboard legend, you know, his sound is crazy. All the chords, the ballads, the upbeats, the intros, you know, all of those great things that he provided. He's a nice guy. Every time I've met this man, he has not looked down on me. He has not stuck his nose up at me. He has not pushed me off and gave me the eye doc. You know, no convention talk. It's always been sincere conversation. And so when I reached out to him to do the pod, he said yes with no problem. And I'm honored to, you know, God has given me favor with great people. And I'm so happy that I can talk to these people and have them come on my platform and share these great stories with you. So without any further ado, let's bring to the pod one of the most influential people in music, a good friend of mine, a mentor, a silent mentor. He doesn't even know. I've been studying his work for many years. And I like to bring to the pod my friend, a mentor of mine, Cedric Thompson. Sad, what's up, man?
My brother, man, listen, I am elated being here, and I'm humbled that you asked me to be a part. I love you, man, and I love what you're doing. And, you know, again, you know, all of those accolades, you know, I appreciate it. I'm so humbled, really.
Yeah.
I
man.
really am, man.
See, the thing is, you've done so much, and a lot of, like, the platform that I have, I want to also get the information from you on how you got where you are, but I also want to take the time to salute you for all the great things you've done. And then in that, with all your status, you never changed. You've always been a kind person, approachable person, and that makes that does a lot. You know, it helps people that aspire to be like you. You're very approachable and easy to talk to. So I'm grateful to have you come on. I mean, the caliber of musician that you are. And we all know people that are great at their craft, but they're not nice people.
Most definitely. Yeah, you know, didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, it's fine.
I always have a saying, and everybody that knows me, you know that I stand by this, you know, and with me, it doesn't matter how great you are, you know, and I've said this on many occasions, you know, but if your character and your integrity doesn't match up, you know, we can't do it together, you know. And, you know, that's important to me.
Of course.
You know, because, you know, like you said, you know, growing up, you know, I've witnessed and experienced those, you know, that look down upon you, you know, and of course, you know, that's just not my character naturally, but, you know, I've always, you know, not wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
You know, so I appreciate you saying that, man.
No problem. I always ask, one of the first things I talk to people on when they come on is how I first was introduced to that guest. And so with you, naturally, your legend preceded you. I'm from the North. I'm from Connecticut.
Okay.
And me and Ira Noyes, we grew up reading album credits,
Oh
and we
wow.
grew up studying music and studying the greats. We were church kids, preachers
Hmm.
kids, and that's why I'm excited about this episode, because you're a church guy.
Almost definitely to
Yes,
heart,
sir.
all the
You
way.
know, you can play anything, but you are a church guy, and I love that because you are true to gospel music.
I appreciate that, man. I'm gonna tell you, I battled with that early in my career, actually.
Okay.
Because everything was shifting
Mm-hmm.
in the business, and of course, sound wise as well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and but so I was I was trying to figure out, whether or not do I fit into
Yeah.
what's happening,
Mm-hmm.
and God told me, that He was going to bless me and in what I do if I remain true to who I was,
Mm-hmm.
and ironically, uh, I think my wife, LeJuene, uh, knew that I was kind of struggling with that as
Mm-hmm.
well, and she ministered to me and told me those exact words that God had placed in my heart, and,
Yeah.
and and the words that God had laid upon me. So with that, I said, well, never look back. And a saying I always have as well is, not to be a counterfeit.
Yeah.
So I just always tried to be the best me, that I could represent.
I tell my wife all the time, as a creative, ideas come to us all the time.
Most definitely.
So it doesn't matter who else does something. If you're the original, if you're the authentic, it's always going to shine. It's always going to come through.
Most definitely.
And it
Most
doesn't matter
definitely.
who did it after you,
Hmm.
because you did it first and you did it best.
Oh wow, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. You don't understand, said, like, I'm geeking over here. I'm a little kid right now. And we've talked before, but I mean, I think my first introduction to you probably was hearing you probably on Bible stories, right?
Okay.
Um, everybody was a huge Kevin Bond fan, and of
Right.
course, we're reading the credits and we see your name
Okay.
on there, and you're playing organ and other things, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so we got to study, and then when people would come to town, we would be looking for those people to put a face to the name, because there was no internet, to
Right.
know how people looked.
Exactly.
And so
Exactly.
you would have to lean on other people to know, is that Cedric? Is that Cedric? We would see Danny. We didn't know who was who,
Right.
So,
Right.
oh, that's
Right.
Ced. Okay. And so we would put the name. And so I think the Rodney Bryant record, I don't know if that came first or after that, but I think that was the first record I heard you produce on your own.
Okay. That was after. Yeah.
That
After
was
Bible
after. Okay.
stories. Yeah.
Okay. So that was kind of my introduction. But then as a young man, I became a professional musician, and I started touring with You for Praise with JJ.
Most definitely.
And we did a concert in Charlotte, and we opened up for y'all. And I don't know if you remember, I
Okay.
had to be like 22 or 23, and you were there, and Danny was there, and Coon was there.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most eye-opening experiences, because we got to open it. We thought we did pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Y'all
then y'all,
did. I
yeah,
remember.
okay, you
Yeah.
remember that day.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
We were just getting started. I don't even think we were signed in or anything, but we were so happy to be in Carolina, and we had a chance to open up for Donald Lawrence in Tri-City.
Hmm.
And you guys were all there, big dogs. And we were 20 years old, 22 years old, nervous, and
Oh wow.
just starstruck, just to be in you guys' presence. And we did pretty well. And then, but you guys came on and just did a master class. And
Oh wow.
it was incredible. And we all just went home fired up. And I think that's what music is supposed to do, right? Music is supposed to inspire you, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's that's one of the reasons why we should do it.
Yeah.
And to be able to plant seed,
Hmm.
into the kingdom world,
Hmm.
and not just the kingdom world, but even outside of, what we consider the church walls,
Yeah.
and with that, our job is to, you know, also pass the mantle as
Yes.
well, and at the same time, while we're doing that, you know, uh, don't forget the shoulders that we also stand upon.
Yes, sir.
You know, we definitely we live in a society that's real quick to cancel. you
Yeah.
know, and very dismissive, but we all had to learn from somewhere and from somebody,
Yeah.
so if I think, if we are uh, not so quick to be dismissive with that,
Hmm.
then I think purpose would still be served in a much better aspect.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, we were reading those credits, man. We Reggie Graves and Mel Gray, and we
Oh
knew your
yeah.
whole squad, bro. We knew your whole squad, and we were looking to see to put a face to the name. And so that definitely changed my life and made us fired us up when we came home. We told Ira, because Ira wasn't with us on that trip. We came
Okay.
home and told him about it, and we rehearsed extra long just to
Oh wow.
because you guys have put the fire in us.
Oh wow, that's a blessing, man.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you, and I just wanted to honor you in that moment as a young man, getting to see you for the first time live, and it was literally life changing. There's
Oh
few
wow.
moments like that. When I met Joe Wilson at SOP, and then when I
Okay.
met you,
Oh wow.
and then a couple others, but those were like memories that I'll never forget. And that was 20 something years ago.
Ooh, ooh. Time flies.
Time flies, but we look good though.
Most definitely. Come on now. Keeping it up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's get started. So I've been doing some research on you and studying all week. And I found out you're not originally from North Carolina. You're from South Carolina. Tell us about that.
I'm from Anderson, South Carolina.
Yes,
And,
sir.
and for those that are not familiar with Anderson, they may be more familiar with Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
And Greenville is 30 miles above Anderson.
Yeah.
So if you're going I-85, you go through Anderson on your way to Georgia or so.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm from, Anderson, South Carolina.
Nice. I was just in Greenville last week, and I did some work out there. But I live in Atlanta now, so we just drove.
Okay.
It's about
Yeah.
2.5 hours out that way. So my wife and I were out there just hanging out. Beautiful city, beautiful area.
It is. It is.
Yes, sir. So being in Anderson, was there a strong musical presence there? Like,
Oh, to be honest with you, not really.
okay.
Not necessarily in Anderson itself.
Mhm.
Most of the time, we would the big things that were happening around Anderson was,
Okay.
like I said, in Greenville
Mhm.
also, and a few things, would come to Anderson, but no, I basically, my father's side
Okay.
is the musical side of the family.
Yes, sir.
So I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandmother started me out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did she play?
she played,
Awesome.
and she was a choir director as well. So
Nice.
she started me out at 3, and
3 years old. Wow.
at 3 years old, and at the time I was too young, of course, to take formal training or whatnot. So when I became of age at 6 years old, I started taking formal training.
Wow.
And I started out as a classical guy.
Whoa.
Yeah, so
That makes sense though with those arpeggios you play in your music.
okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's definitely embedded in what I do.
Yes, sir.
And I always say, I don't know if I'm moving ahead of you,
That's fine.
but I always say jokingly, that God tricked me,
Mhm.
because my brother and I used to sing as a duo.
Wow, you sing too.
Uh, don't let that be known though. Not outside the studio.
No, because I'll figure. I'll tell you why. But go ahead. I want to
Okay.
hear your point.
Yeah. And so our cousin at the time played for us.
Mhm.
But there were times where uh, he didn't show up, so I
Oh,
had to.
cuz. Come on,
Yeah,
cuz.
that part, man. So I had to learn, those songs that we were singing,
Mhm.
singing,
Yeah.
and so from there, I started playing uh, at my church home at 12,
Wow.
and
Full services or just the youth choir?
for full services.
Wow.
No. Let me back up. So initially, it was just the youth choir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was just the youth choir, and about a year after that, I started playing for the full service.
Oh, you were hungry.
Yeah.
That
Oh
that
yeah.
gift came.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
And they started paying me. Thanks to my grandfather. He was like, you all are not going to use my grandson. If you're going
Right.
to have him play, you're going to have to pay him.
And what church was this?
Welfare Baptist
Welfare.
Church.
Yes, sir.
Baptist Church. And so from there, I also started teaching the young adult choir as well. And everything just started blossoming and moving forward from there.
So this is the rite of passage that we've all gone through, right? As church kids and musicians, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're in church, we're sitting on the front row, we're watching everybody ahead of us, right? We're waiting for our chance. And
Most
then we
definitely.
finally get our chance. Do you feel like that is a lost art? Because that doesn't happen as much anymore because church is a different way now.
I really do,
Yeah.
and I feel like, it's a lost art, also because of social media as well.
Yes. Yeah.
At the same time, social media, can be a blessing, and at the same time, I think sometimes it can handicap you.
Yeah.
But most definitely, I do think that it's a lost art, that we don't have those firsthand experiences,
Yes.
and now, because of the way music ministries are structured in the church,
Yes.
so and ironically, that was a conversation that my wife and I just had a couple of days ago. How we hate that the experiences that we had, and of course, with each generation,
Yeah, things evolve.
Things evolve, but
Yeah.
but some things, you just wish that you were still able to cling and cherish.
Yeah.
That another generation was able to experience. So it's some of those things, that we hate, that like our grandkids as well,
Mm-hmm.
won't get to experience.
Yeah.
But I do think, that even, just from sitting back, listening, seeing, and observing, and the whole nine, and just being a sponge to that.
Yes.
That we definitely, miss that, because now, we're in a microwave generation as well, and I'm not saying that necessarily everything is wrong with that, but I think in that sometimes I think there are some foundational things, that are lost.
Do you think we're missing the element of paying dues?
I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
I really do, because now, once someone is jumping on, they're expecting to get or to get the same treatment as someone who has already built a resume.
Absolutely.
So and to my point earlier with being, this microwave generation.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily just blaming it on all this generation, because like you said, a lot of the things that are happening now because of the lack of, we have to take the blame as well.
Yeah.
Because like you said earlier, a lot of the things that we learned, we've moved on without teaching others, or without passing down the information that we have, or being able to help, open different avenues for others as well. So a lot of that, we have to take the blame for, and some of the generation before us have to take the blame for us.
Yeah.
And
it's a domino effect. Yeah.
It's a domino effect,
gradually happen. Yeah, I understand.
Most definitely.
So you playing at Welfare at 12, is it going through your mind that I have a gift, that I'm special?
Not really.
No.
Because because number one, I was doing what I love to do.
Yes.
So and hungry at it. So to be honest with you, I didn't really realize the gift part of it until I had moved away to go to school.
Okay.
To
college.
To college.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And Johnson C. Smith
Ooh.
here in Charlotte, and that's when I started playing for. Well, at the time, he wasn't a pastor, Pastor John P. Key,
Ooh.
and
Your your first gig was John Key.
yeah, my first professional gig
Yes, sir.
uh, was with Pastor Key,
Yeah.
and ironically, I had met him what maybe two years or so prior.
Hmm.
Uh, we used to go every year to the GMWA,
Yeah.
and even as a young kid, because my grandmother, she was also a chapter rep.
Wow.
So so we went every year, and then once I started playing with the choir, well, before I took over, she was also the director over the young adult choir as well. So
Wow.
so we used to take the choir to the GMWA as well.
So did that
And
open your mind? Did that open your mind to professional music?
that
Yes.
experience, it really
Okay.
did, you know.
Okay.
Uh, and so this particular year, it was in New York, and the song that I was playing for the youth mass choir concert, uh, John Key happened to be directing the same song.
Wow.
And afterwards, I don't know how he found me, but he found me, and you know, he just more so just gave me words of encouragement.
Yeah.
And so about it
What
about a
era
year.
is this? What era is this, do you think?
So this is roughly around 85.
Okay, great.
This is around 85 because in 86 uh, he he uh, he did a workshop in our area,
Wow.
and they called me to actually play for his workshop. So and I'm sure you were like this growing up. You know, you learned everybody's music.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so I was like that as well, and so um, by that time I knew uh, all of his music, or at least the music that was on the records.
Yeah.
So I played for his workshop, and I'm fast forwarding now to uh, going off to Johnson C. Smith
Yeah. College
and
years.
college, and
Yeah.
so I started playing with the gospel choir, and the person that was the director over the choir, they were sick and had to take a medical leave.
Mm.
So I started teaching the choir.
Wow.
We rehearsed on Thursdays, and so I remember.
And you already had experience from doing teaching when you were younger at welfare.
Most definitely,
Yeah.
most
So you're already
definitely,
prepared.
and already prepared.
Yeah.
So I remember this one particular night after rehearsal, my buddy and myself, we were going down the street to go grab a sandwich.
Yeah.
And as we were walking down the street from the campus, we can hear this music happening, you know, and the further we get to it and could decipher what was happening, I heard this voice, and I was telling him, I was like, man, whoever this guy is, loves himself some John P. Key, because he sounds just like John P. Key, man.
Right.
And the closer we got to it, I was like, man, this guy love himself some John P. Key, man, because he got John pat down.
Yeah.
So so the closer we got, we realized that from the sandwich shop, the church was right across the street where
Wow.
the music was coming from,
Yeah.
and they had their doors open. So I was like,
Yeah.
let's go in and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in, and we're standing in the doorway, and it was him and his choir, New
Yeah.
Life. And
Right.
he recognized me standing in the door and motioned for me to come up. I played the rest of the rehearsal.
Wow.
I played. He wanted me to come back for the next week, and then it was 2 weeks later. He asked me to go to Texas with him, and from there,
Wow.
I became his music director.
Oh my goodness. Just walking in off the street.
just walking off the street, man. And so that's another thing I always say. You never take for granted those chance encounters.
Yeah. And that kind of
Never
was your
take for
introduction to the industry, kind of, right?
most definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely, it was. Yep.
Wow. And I'm sure you have like many decades of friendships from that friendship or that occurrence that you had.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Built a lot of relationships from that.
So was it a culture shock to go from Anderson to Charlotte?
It was really, because there wasn't much to do in Anderson.
Okay.
So basically all we did, I was in sports as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
So for me, if it wasn't sports, it was music.
Yeah.
What
What sports were you into?
All three, football, basketball, and baseball.
And baseball. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so baseball was actually my main sport.
Wow.
But so if I wasn't doing sports, I was in music, and I mean, even to the point that there were a few times I actually missed picture day because my grandmother was like, "No, you got to be at rehearsal."
Oh yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So like I said, other than that, there wasn't a lot to do in Anderson. So moving off to Charlotte,
Yeah.
was a bit of a little shock, but not as much because we would visit
Mhm.
Charlotte
Okay. Often.
often because I had family here. My
Great.
grandmother, her siblings
Oh
actually
wow.
lived here in Charlotte as well.
Oh, that's awesome. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that
No,
far off from family.
no, they helped out. Yeah.
So if you weren't a professional musician that you are today, what would you be? What did you want to
Uh,
be or did you always want to be a musician?
well, I want to be a musician, and so if I wasn't in the music, I would have been playing baseball.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing. What position? You pitching?
pitcher and shortstop.
Shortstop.
Yep,
Woo.
yep,
Oh, that's amazing. I love hearing that story of what if, like I talk to different
exactly.
people and they tell me different things. So
Most definitely. Yep.
that's super cool. Um, so we're in Charlotte now, right? And
Hmm.
you kind of made your home. I don't know if you still reside in Charlotte now, but you've been in
Yeah,
that area for quite a while. So
most definitely.
there's a few cities like New York, Chicago, Philly, LA, Houston, Memphis, and Detroit that just breed great musicians, right? From
Most
being on the
definitely.
road,
Oh yeah,
when you go to LA or you go to Philly, you're gonna hear some good music, right?
exactly.
The Carolinas have a lot of secrets. So I want to
Ooh,
know about your family tree, your musical tree in the Charlotte, and I'll say North and South Carolina because you guys call them the Carolinas, right?
yeah, yeah.
So tell me about your musical tree, the people that you came up with, the people
Hmm.
that you worked with, and then also the people that you gave exposure to.
Okay.
So kind of like
Uh,
the branch of your legacy, kind of.
most definitely, most definitely. So, um, growing up, again, going back to my early years,
Hmm.
there was outside of my grandmother, there was this. There were two, three guys that I looked up to back home,
Yeah.
and one was this guy by the name of Leonard Johnson, and he was also teaching at the university at Anderson as well, and he had a choir. It was called the Johnson Ensemble, I think it was,
Okay.
and he just had a way of flowing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I always, I don't know why I picked this word, but I always called it silky.
Okay.
You know, so
Smooth with it.
it was very smooth.
Yeah.
So it was he, guy by the name of Michael Henderson,
Okay.
and he also played at we played at the same church,
Yes,
and
sir.
so he was on the organ, and he just had this aggressive approach to it, but
Hmm.
tasteful,
Yeah.
you know. Uh, and so it was those two, and this guy by the name of Richard Oldham.
Richard Odom. Okay.
And Richard Oldham at the time uh, was with this was before Tri-City was with Donald.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and Richard was over Tri-City at the time, and Richard, I mean, Richard was just a phenomenal musician and singer and
Wow.
teacher as well. So
Yes, sir.
so I looked up to those guys, and even then, growing up, mainly I always though gravitated to Thomas Whitfield and Oscar Peterson.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I remember getting ready for school one morning, and I was putting my clothes on,
Mhm.
had the radio going, and
Right.
it was the gospel station playing, and I heard the song, and the ironic thing about this particular scenario was that the song that I heard, I had heard it before at the GMWA, because
Oh wow.
this guy Stephen Roberts presented it and taught it to the choir,
Yeah.
and they recorded it that particular year, and he had Daryl Coley leading it, and the name of the song was "Nobody But Jesus."
Wow.
So I heard this crazy intro.
Mhm.
It was like a big glitz on the piano. And he went through that whole segment, and then I heard the voice of Vanessa Bell Armstrong.
Wow.
And then when they got into the course of the song, I was like, wait a minute, I remember the song.
Yeah.
And literally, I called the radio station. I had at that time I was 14.
Wow.
I called the radio station and
You wanted to know.
I wanted to know who was playing it and who produced it, because I was like yourself, I was one of those. I was engulfed in credits.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wanted to know, who were making these sounds, who were
Mhm.
producing these records and the whole nine.
Yeah.
And he told me Thomas Whitfield.
Wow.
So from the checks that I was getting from the church, I went straight to the music store and
Yeah.
bought every LP that had Thomas Whitfield name on it.
Yeah, man.
And since then, it's been Thomas Whitfield. So from there, I now migrate to North Carolina,
Hmm.
and here, there was this young man by the name of Michael Smith. I think he's pastoring now
Okay.
in Marion, North Carolina,
Hmm.
and that inspired me as well. And
Yeah.
so I LeJuene and I, after because I met LeJuene with Pastor Key,
Yes.
and so after our time with Pastor Key, we moved to, well, actually, I followed her to Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Nice. Smart
Because
man.
yeah, so she's from Greensboro, but
Oh wow.
her and her mom, they grew up under this ministry in the what was the lady's name? Mother Lady Cohen.
Okay.
And she had a grandson by the name of Donnie Graves, Bishop Donnie Graves.
Yes.
And so LeJuene, they grew up under their ministry.
Okay.
And so she had recorded a song on his project, and so they were going to Atlanta, and I followed her, and he remembered me because when I was with Pastor Key, we
Yes,
had done
sir.
a concert in Fayetteville, so he asked me to play.
Wow.
And ironically, the next week was their convocation coming up, so he asked me to play for that week.
Yeah.
After that, I'm living in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So and there, so have relationships. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Becky White.
No, sir.
Becky White is the mother of. Are you familiar with the actor Dennis White?
No, maybe by face.
Yeah, Dennis played. Oh God, he was in the Biggest Smalls movie.
Oh wow.
And he played. He was the best friend to Biggest
C's.
Small. Yeah,
Oh
in the
wow.
movie. Yeah. So
Wow.
uh, uh, she was there, and it was a host of musicians.
Yeah.
And because and unknowingly,
Hmm.
that Bishop Graves was a recording artist himself.
He is. Yeah.
So having those experiences
Hmm.
and everything, just keep it kept catapulting and moving forward from there.
And so you align yourself. You're in Fayetteville, and are you establishing a band when you get there, or is there a band already there when you get to Fayetteville?
So there's so at the time, really not necessarily a band. It was uh, uh, pianist, organ, and drums.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all it was,
Yeah.
piano,
Yeah.
organ, and drums.
Right.
And so I'm the organist
Hmm.
at this time now, and so we start slowly, start putting together, those elements.
Yes. Yes.
From there, I got the call from Donald Lawrence
Yes.
while we were in Fayetteville.
Okay.
Because I had we had formed this group called The Promise.
Yes, sir.
And even the way that group was formed, there was a event every year called the Wajo Awards, and the alternative name for it as well was the Black and White Ball. And so
I got a surprise for you. Look.
Oh wow.
I told you I was doing my research.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the promise, right?
That's the game. Yes, sir. That's the promise. Daryl, Walter, Lynn, LeJuene, and Teresa. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
And we were formed. The guy who was over the Wajo Awards this particular year, he wanted to have the previous some of the previous winners to do a rendition of the Negro anthem, national anthem.
Yes, sir.
So I did a arrangement of that as well, and so with the group, it felt good,
mm-hmm.
and so they were pondering the idea of maybe continuing on. Mm-hmm. So out of that, a few of us kept it going, and from there, the group Promise was formed. Wow. So I had written this piece called Magnifying.
Yeah.
And Donald had called me to he wanted to record Magnifying. Wow. with Rodney Posey. He was doing Rodney Posey's first record.
Yeah.
And the choir, Women of Chester Mass Choir, had just recorded Magnifying the week before he called.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I told him, I said, it's coming out on Women of Chester Mass Choir. So he wanted me to come up with another song that was, kind of similar. So I came up with this piece called The Praise. Okay. That Rodney did with Twinkee on that project. So while he was mixing it, he invited LeJuene and I to come down to Charlotte. So we came down to Charlotte, sat with him, and at that time he invited me to be a part of his production team. Wow. Because I think shortly there, I think Kevin was getting ready to be on his way out. Yeah. As well. So that's when I became a part of the team.
And who was on the team at that point?
At that point, it was myself, Kevin, Jeremy Haynes,
Jigga,
yeah, and Mel Gray. So at that point, we didn't have a guitar player. Okay. It was Mel Gray on bass. Yeah. And so I took the helm of MD roughly about 2 years after or
Mm-hmm.
so, and following that, when Danny became a part, Donald had done this recording for Ricky Dillon. I think it was the Work It Out record,
Whoa.
and we were getting ready for Karen's record.
Mm.
And so Donald was like, "Hey, said I want you to check this kid out,
Mm-hmm.
you know." So we
How
bought
old was Danny then?
Danny. Oh man, what Danny? I can't remember his precise age at that time, but it was early 20s.
Early 20s, young
It was
man.
early 20s, yeah.
Okay.
And so we balled him down, and I mean, it was immediate chemistry.
Now, where's Danny from?
Chicago.
Chi-town. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So we brought him down for rehearsals, and man,
Instant chemistry.
it was not a build up,
Yeah.
and trying to build the chemistry. It was immediate,
Wow.
and so we did the rehearsals, and went to Detroit, recorded the record, and the rest was history from there.
That's amazing. How are those early days with Kevin Bond? You did some major, amazing sessions with him.
Oh man, I learned quite a bit from working with Kev as well. One with how to put together, sounds,
Yeah.
and how he constructed, and his process of
Yeah.
putting together productions
Mm-hmm.
in the whole nine. And ironically, Kevin and I, our sound was actually similar already.
Similar. Yeah. Definitely.
And even to the point, Chip, that we found ourselves sometimes on different gigs doing the same identical ad lib.
Yes, sir.
And it got to the point that we wouldn't take a hold,
Yeah.
because it was happening so often.
Wow.
So I learned a lot from Kev, and especially, the way that he approached his left hand.
Oh, you guys are so famous for that, man. That was one of my points, because I can close my eyes and hear. First of all, you have, not to go too far ahead, but the
Right.
way you approach ballads
Okay.
is legendary.
Oh wow.
And then the left hand stuff, the little tricks you do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a North Carolina kind of sound now,
Most
where
definitely.
we hear that, we know that that's said.
Okay.
And then anybody who does do,
Right,
do that little
right.
left hand move, that's
Yeah, I
just
know you're
said.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the it's the feeling and the feeling of North Carolina, and that's all stemming from you, and I'm sure Kevin Bond instituting that.
Yeah, and one thing that I didn't recognize was one of my, if you will, signature moves.
Yeah.
Until Mel Gray actually made me aware of it. Was I love to do like a lot of chromatic diminish moves
Mm-hmm.
as well, and Mel pointed that out to me, in rehearsals one time, so but the way that I like to approach them,
Mm-hmm.
I don't necessarily like to approach it with the root being what you would think would be the regular root.
Yeah.
So say if it's a F sharp diminisher, so most people would play a F sharp diminished with a C on the bottom,
Okay.
and then going to the one, and the C either being that flat 5 to the 5. So most of the time I either make that C like a, something, or even like a 7 on top of it as well.
Yeah.
So I always try to think, in terms of intricate, not whole pieces, but intricate movements,
Yeah.
being unorthodox.
I got you.
Not the regular way of, approaching
Out of the box approaching it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you had great times with Kevin Bond. Did you know Donald before he asked you for the promise, or were you just introduced to him then?
So actually, I didn't necessarily know it. I didn't know him personally.
Okay.
I knew of him, and I had met him a few times.
Hmm.
So there again, going back to those chance encounters.
Yes.
So I met him. My first time meeting him was in Orangeburg, South Carolina.
That's where my
Uh,
family's from. I've never
oh,
been
really?
there, but yeah, but my family is from the Ginyard family's from Orangeburg.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And it was at the college there. What was that? State. And I had a group as a teenager that I had formed,
Okay.
and and we were singing on this particular concert, and I met Donald there because Donald, even before the company that he has now,
Hmm.
he had a group called the company then that was a male group,
Oh wow.
and I met him then, and I met him at a workshop for this guy David Allen in,
Okay.
in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And so prior to him calling me, those are the only two times I had met him. No. Let me take it back. I met him when their first record had first come out, Songwriter's Point of View.
Okay. Yeah.
Tri-City,
Hmm.
and the Promise. We had to open up for them. They did a concert in Greensboro.
Yeah.
So you know how it all just kind of cycles, man.
Yeah. The
Uh,
music circuit.
exactly.
Yeah. So is Donald from Charlotte?
He's from Gastonia, North
Gastonia.
Carolina. Yep.
Okay. So that's how we were introduced to Donald because Robin Rowe,
Robin. Yep.
The late Robin Rowe, the great Robin Rowe Stewart
Yes.
moved from Gastonia and got married and moved to my city.
Okay. Yep.
So with
Yep.
that, her being a member of Tri-City, she brought all the music back early.
Oh, wow.
And my best friend and my wife is from the same church with Robin.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
so my best friend was the drummer at Robin's church.
Okay.
And so Donald would come up and do workshops.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be a little kid in the back watching, who is this guy, this tall guy teaching these songs? But he was amazing at what he did. And then Robin would bring all the records and teach them to her choir first.
Wow.
And they were a
Wow.
legendary choir in the city. And Robin later sang on my uncle's projects, and she just was a powerhouse, and we miss her so much.
Most
But
definitely.
we were introduced to your music and Kevin, and that's the desire to learn who you guys were. I was introduced to that from Robin, her bringing that music back and us wanting to know.
Oh, wow.
I'm saved and all that stuff. So
Yes. And man, when I tell you, she laid that song, and
oh man, legendary.
I mean, every time we would do that song, it would just do something to the atmosphere.
Absolutely. Still to this day, anywhere.
To this day,
Yes, sir.
Not only was she just a powerhouse, she was anointed with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I definitely
shout out to her daughter Brittany too. She has the mantle. Yeah.
And it sounds like her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that has to give you chills when you hear that.
Oh man, let me tell you, I had chills. We did a was it last year before last? We did a tribute to Donald here in Charlotte.
Yes.
And Brittany led I'm Saved.
Yes, sir.
Man, seriously. Yeah, I really had chills because it was like Robin was there.
Yes. I love that he's taking her under his wing and taking her on the road and
most definitely.
Been Uncle Donald. I just love the fact that the next generation is being loved on and honored through, because of her mom's legacy.
Most definitely.
Yes, sir. You're a lover of music and a lover of gospel music. What's your favorite genre? Gospel, classical, or jazz?
Oh man, actually, between gospel and jazz, I hold them both pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
And but I'm the old school jazz guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Oscar Peterson.
Stuff.
Yeah. Art Tatum.
Yes.
And of course Chick.
Yes, sir.
That era as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so give me 5 of your top 5 choirs.
Oh wow. Okay.
Any
Tri.
era.
Okay. Tri City, of course.
Yes.
Uh, Milton Brunson and the Tommies.
Yes, sir.
Well, then Thompson Community Choir.
Yeah.
Thomas Whitfield.
Oof.
Uh, who else?
Two
So
more.
there was uh, people probably don't. Well, most people probably wouldn't know who they were, but it was a choir. It was a local choir called Queen Street at Queen Street Baptist,
Nice.
and the choir was basically all women and one guy.
Wow.
But man, when I tell you, whew, they had a blend like none other.
That's amazing.
And I think the other one would have to be between Ricky and JJ's choir.
Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Give me top 5 vocalists.
Uh, my wife, of course, LeJuene
Absolutely.
Thompson. I love Joe. Joe
Thomas?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That's my favorite male singer.
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Who else? Top 5. Joe, Jason Nelson.
Yes, sir.
I hold him up there.
Absolutely.
Love his tone. Love his tone. Karen.
Yes.
And Faith.
Faith. Okay. Brick
I
City.
love her tone, man.
I love it. That's awesome. I know you mentioned you sang too, and you had a group with your brother. Where did your love for vocals come from? Because you're an amazing vocal arranger.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So again, that from my grandmother.
Yeah.
Because being around her and being around her and experiencing and watching her teach choirs.
Yes, sir.
And how she was a stickler on everything being precise.
Yeah.
In the whole nine. So that was embedded into me as a young, at a very young age.
Yeah.
So from that, and again, I think the two most early influences on me as it relates to vocals was from my grandmother and from this lady. Her name was Pastor Katie Jordan, who was over the choir at Queen Street.
Okay.
And I mean, she was a vocal director from a phenomenon, man. The way that she owned, vocals, and had control and the whole nine, so I was always in awe.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to travel with her, for a few workshops in the whole nine. So at an early age, both of those were my early influences. And then of course Donald.
Yeah.
Because I mean Donald is
choir master.
Oh man.
And I don't want to take Ricky's turn, but you know what I mean. Like he's just a general. He's
that he is
very professional at what he does.
That he is, yeah, most definitely.
So one thing I know about you, right? If your name is attached to a project, the music is gonna be phenomenal.
Oh, I appreciate
and
that.
And the vocals are gonna be just as well. Where did your desire for excellence come from?
Oh man. Again, my grandmother.
Grandma. Yeah.
My grandmother, because again, that I think I developed that in those rehearsals, because she would come and beat my hand even if I was playing something wrong.
Right.
So
tough love,
man. So that that home, that particular desire for everything being at a certain tier.
Yeah.
With the way that it was represented and displayed. So again, I have to give all of that to her. And then once I merged into the industry, experiencing the way that Donald, carried
Yeah.
things at excellent. Everything had to be excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, not from just the music aspect, but from all of the logistics, as it relates to the way that even the choir traveled.
Yeah.
So from
But you guys are
from
so innovative with the mic placement, right? You changed the game. Like Tri-City doesn't get enough honor and props for what they did, what you and Donald brought to the game. I mean, the sound that you brought, the progressions, the harmonies matching the progressions, the the way you guys carried yourself, the way you presented yourself, your stage plot, right? Singing around the mics. Now every church in America sees your video, and now everybody's standing around the mic.
everybody standing around the mic, yeah.
And then the Kente, and then it was a legendary time where you guys broke the mold and changed what choirs were doing and made it fun, cool, and different. And I salute you guys for doing that. I don't think it was a risk per se, but it was different.
It was very different,
Yes.
and again, all props there to Donald.
Yeah.
Because Donald, he was always forward moving.
Yeah.
And he was always able to think ahead. At the same time, still being in the moment.
Yes.
So again, all props to Donald with that.
That level of excellence wasn't heard of. I think the Hawkins, like in gospel, right? You never know. Like there were no writers back then, right? You
Right.
didn't know there was no real backline. You kind of had to figure out what was going to be there.
Exactly.
And so you guys brought it to another level where you made people desire to have backline. You made people have sound engineers that were skilled, and sound check was important. Like that was the highest level of professionalism that we had seen for a choir. We've seen the Clark sisters, we've seen, groups in the Hawkins and things of that nature, but we had not seen a choir that large travel with that level of excellence. And that was pretty amazing.
And I'm gonna tell you, that was exciting, to actually be a part of, because I hadn't seen that. I saw it on the secular side,
Yes.
and my first experience, even with that was when I was in college, and we had to do background for one of just for that particular date in Charlotte for Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Wow.
And so being a part of that sound check and the whole nine, and just seeing the way that they carried sound checks, all of the elements involved, and just seeing all of the racks, all of the boards, and just how professional everything was, and then seeing some other shows on the R&B and secular side, and then when I saw Donna and them, presenting it in the same fashion, but in gospel,
Yes.
I was hyped to be a part of that, and there, I had already had a rack, because I had it, with the group Promise.
Yeah.
And then so I'm trying to have a how can I say, a general competition, not necessarily competition, but compete with Kevin with his rack.
Of course,
because Kevin had the monstrous rack. And then Kevin even helped me put together a much bigger rack as well.
because that MKS was in there, and then that 1080 was in there.
Yes, sir. The MKS was in there. The 1080. But after a while, I actually had stopped traveling with the MKS and was traveling with the P330.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So it was the P330, and I surprised a lot of people when I tell them a lot of my sounds outside of the P330 as well was coming from my SR10 rack.
Whoa! Did you sample it in there and then use it that way?
I sampled some of the stuff in there, and it had some stock sounds.
Yeah, wow.
That I would customize as well.
Wow.
And
I heard you tell a story about a guitar patch you used on a record that.
A guitar patch, actually on Minor Standards
Yeah.
song. It was the whining song. I can't think of the name of the song right now, but it was the guitar patch actually from the ASR 10.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
and you could hear the
fret sliding,
the fret sliding on the neck, all of
yeah.
So a lot of people thought it was a guitar player until, except the guitar players, because they know that they can, those chords wasn't
right. That's a little too thick. That's
like,
too many
exactly.
fingers. Yeah. I love it. So at what age did you do your first recording session?
I was 14, 15.
Wow.
14 because at 15 I did one with my group. So it was a local choir, Barbara Robinson and her choir in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Wow.
And I would play with them off and on, and they went in to do a recording, and she wanted me to play keys on it. So that was, and that's when the recording bug bit me.
Yes, sir. I was about to say, did that open your eyes up to production?
It did, really did. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then what age did you get your first record deal?
Oh man, so I was how old was I? I was 20.
It was with The Promise, right?
It was with The Promise. I was what was I, 20, around 24?
Okay. Wow.
25 there. And to be honest with you, Chip, that I almost turned away from the music industry after that deal.
Wow. Talk about it, man, because this is what we want to do. We want to drop some gems on the kids and encourage them. What do you have for me?
Yeah. So it turned out, that deal was a pretty bad deal.
Oh man.
That we signed, and because of the way that deal turned out, I was like, well, if it's going to be like this, I don't want any parts of music.
Yeah.
So plus it was a bad deal. Then it looked like the record. So the record actually sat on the shelf for about 2 years.
It shelved you.
Yeah, because it
was Word Records or something, right?
It was on Word Records.
Yeah.
So prior to that, it was through a production deal.
Okay.
And so when we got out of the production deal, then it was signed exclusively to Word. So the production deal was with Word.
Oh wow.
But at the time, Word went through, they were going through personnel changes.
Mm-hmm.
So it was taking them a minute for everybody to get acclimated to the system, to learn the system in the whole nine. And those that were coming in, they were working new records.
Yeah.
So those records that were actually finished, they had put them on the shelf, and ours was one of those.
So was your deal based solely on, and not to get too much into it, I'm sorry, but was your deal basically mostly on your shoulders as a producer, or were there others involved?
No. So the deal was actually based on the production company that we had to deal with. Okay. So when that actually went sour, within they, like I said, they wanted to sign the deal exclusively. Okay. Yeah. So it was more so kind of on my shoulders because I was carrying the group. Yeah. So like I said, the business just went sour. Yeah. But to be honest with you, it really went in that direction because we didn't know the business. Yes. So what that did for me, it was really a blessing in disguise because it charged me and caused me to dive into the business. Right. So from there, I went in and asked, questions to those that would allow me to. Yes. And I just did my homework. Yeah. So this is a good segue into what I want to talk about the business because
I wanted to talk about the importance of having a good attorney and also the importance of publishing and split sheets, things of
Most
that
definitely.
nature. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, all of those are important. You have to have them all in place. You know, number one, there were some deals that I wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for my attorney.
Yes, sir.
You know, and some deals that even though I'm thinking I know the business, but you know, still when you get those contracts, you still need to have an attorney. You know,
Yeah.
because there can be a clause in
Small fine print.
yeah in
Yeah.
item 1A, and then you get down to 2D or something, and it cancels that out.
Yes.
You know, in the whole
Yeah.
nine, but you know, in different wording in the whole nine, you know, so with legal terms in the whole nine. So you have to have an attorney for that. And uh uh I think I have one of the best attorneys by way of James Walker.
Now James Walker is from my hometown, and he's my wife's
Yes, sir.
cousin.
So I didn't know he was your cousin, but I knew you guys were
We're
from the
from
same
Bridgeport,
area.
Connecticut. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, James
So
is. I'm gonna have him on the pod soon, so we're gonna talk about all that stuff because we want to really get into the details about the industry.
most definitely, most
That's
definitely. So that, and then you know, knowing the importance of having your own publishing,
yes,
you know, and even doing split sheets. I tell people now, you know, especially if you guys go into a session, you
yeah,
know, and you're writing pieces together, you know, even if you have nothing more than a piece of napkin,
yes,
you know, write on there, you know, what those splits are,
yeah,
and what you were involved in, you know,
yes,
and then later, you know, you all can get it formalized,
yeah,
you know, in the whole nine. But it's important, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, even to this day, you know, I see so many people fighting over, you know, who did what, and who don't have any rights
yeah,
in the whole nine, you know. And I've seen so many people lose money, you know, because you know they didn't have their own publishing,
yeah.
or they didn't do split sheets in the whole nine, didn't get credits,
We've all
you know.
been burned that way. I mean, if
Been
you're gonna
there.
be in music, if you're gonna do music, you know, I advise you to learn now in your early stages. But anybody who's done music professionally has gone through some type of trauma.
We've all gone through it. Yes, sir. We've all gone through it. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
So I'm trying to help you avoid it, guys. People that are listening, please, you know, take heed to what Seth is saying and get yourself a good attorney and read these books and study and learn the game if you want to be a musician or in the industry.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
and the I can't stress enough the importance of ownership.
Hmm.
You know, because now, you know, where is that as well is being able to license your music.
Yeah.
You know, so you know, that would allow you know, to maybe get placements, you
Hmm.
know, in terms of media, you know, either commercials,
Yeah.
you know, TV, you know, whatever type of film, or the whole nine, you know. So it's limitless, you
Yeah.
know, where you can garnish, you know, wages and whatnot for your own music if you have ownership.
Do you like where music is right now as far as streaming? Or do you miss the grind of uh being, major and in major artists and then independent artists, right? But independent artists have an opportunity now with social media. They can become popular a lot quicker.
Yeah,
They don't necessarily need the major as we thought we needed back in the day.
exactly.
And then you have streaming, which takes away from hardcore CD sales and physical copies. Do you like just where how music is playing out right now?
So I'm in the middle.
Okay.
I'm in the middle because, you know, on one end of of the spectrum, you know, I enjoy how it it allows itself for you uh, to be what I just spoke about in terms of your ownership,
Yes.
you know, and you being in control,
Hmm.
you know. So that part of it, I definitely, you know, I love, you know, and where we are with the social media
Yes.
platform, you cut out the middleman,
Yes.
so
Direct to
that
consumer, right? Straight to
it,
the
it's straight to
upload.
it, so I definitely, love that aspect of it. Of course, as it relates to the streaming, it's where we are, but it's 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 gut punching, to realize the amount of money that goes
Yeah.
into producing music,
Yes.
just the whole production of making a song,
Yes.
to get not even pennies on a dollar,
Yeah.
so that part of it, you know uh 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 I dislike, but I mean, other than that, where we are with the digital society,
Yeah.
again, that is limitless,
Yeah.
so it depends on, your grind,
Hmm.
and that I will say, that of course, you have to uh have tough skin,
Hmm.
and you have to be a hustler,
Yes.
you know
Absolutely. Yeah.
you really do, yeah.
Okay. So, what was your favorite studio session that you've done?
Oh man, let me
And I
see.
know you've done a million.
That's
So, give
hard.
me your favorite studio and favorite live.
Okay, the live one is probably easier.
Yeah.
The live one, I would say, would probably be Finally Karen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and man, to be honest with you, that uh that session was really flawless.
You don't have to tell
Yeah,
me. I,
yeah.
I listened to that thing top to bottom.
Yeah, that session was really flawless.
No
And
mis- no no go back, no overdubs as far as
no,
like fixing parts, just stacking.
as far just overdubs, yeah, just stacking in the whole nine, and really, you know, uh, uh, a lot of people didn't necessarily get to hear Mel on a lot of the songs because I redid key bass, but
Yes, you did.
just because of the approach that we were trying to capture sound wise,
Woo! Can I
but
can I
but
applaud you? Can I applaud you for being ahead of the curve sonically to do
oh wow.
that? You know, and I was waiting for this moment because while we're here, I couldn't wait to get to this finally Karen part. I got so excited
Uh-huh.
when the drum sounds, the loops. We had never heard that before in
Oh wow.
accompaniment with gospel music.
Yeah.
So you brought it, and then the sound choices you.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you. So
Woo!
so that was on that was on purpose in terms of the sounds and even the way that I programmed the loops.
Yeah.
And so what we did, I programmed the loops uh off of the ASR 10, and then we transferred the loops into Danny, because Danny had a MPC 3000,
Whew.
because the MPC
Made it knock even more.
it hit harder, right?
Yes, sir.
But I'm gonna tell you, but the reason that I programmed them the way I did and choosing the sounds was because of we call him Coon,
Yeah.
but because of Calvin.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm gonna tell you why, because he he was so much he would always be so much on top of the loop
Yes.
that sometimes you wouldn't recognize the loop was there,
Wow. He's a
and
machine anyway. Oh my god.
he is a human metronome and machine, man.
One of my favorites in the world.
Man,
One of the best.
and, and I'm gonna tell you my first experience with that. So I had played with Calvin prior to, because for a time, even before he started playing with Pastor
Okay.
John P. Key, he was
Yeah.
playing with us with the Promise.
Wow.
So so uh, uh, so he had gotten the call to start playing with P. Key during that time as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when we brought him when we bought Coon or Calvin in, I think this was his first gig with us, and I think we were doing. I want to say it might have been either Old Peter or Stranger. It was one of those two. Ooh. And I had the MPC 2000.
Yeah.
So I was looking. Something happened to the line. We lost the loop.
Yeah.
So
right.
I don't know what happened to it, but I could see it was still
moving. Running. Yeah.
And on the MP you could see the tempo,
clock moving. Yeah.
Running.
Yeah.
So I could see and still feel we were on it.
You're still on. Yep.
So Chip, I'm in decision mode.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, should I or should I not?
He's locked.
Cut it off.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I'm gonna have to take an L on this if it's not right.
Yeah.
So I promise you, it was out for at least about 12 bars.
Oh my gosh.
And when it came in, it was like it never left.
Oh.
And so a few other shows, I was like, man, he is so on top of these loops, man. I got to start creating them a whole nother way,
a different pattern to support them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then at that time, what was even more amazing, even with him and Jeremy, mm-hmm. was the fact that that was before in-ears, so it was just straight monitors.
Just a wedge. I'm so scared of wedges because if they go out, you're done.
I know, right? Yeah. Yep. Most definitely.
Oh man. So even so your drum style of your programming, your loops, the sound choices you used, all those things were influential to us, and we all took them back to. As soon as I heard that record, I went to Sam Ash and tried to get a drum machine of some sort, and then I tried to, and then I went and I got an MPC, and then I started listening to you guys, and it's all just influential things that we heard and we tried to mimic you guys. So shout out to Coon, shout out to you for definitely being ahead of the game and then choosing those sounds.
If I could
go ahead.
If I could interject one thing right quick.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing as well was to and this is to producers and MDs as well.
Yeah.
Whenever you're choosing your sounds, choose stuff that's going to, especially whenever you're programming low end stuff as well.
Yeah.
Choose and program and customize those sounds to where they don't fight with the kick and the bass down there as well. So that's another reason why those particular sounds sound like that as well, especially those kick.
Yeah.
Because what I would do is I would kind of narrow and then cut, and add a lot of low mid to the sounds, to those kicks and stuff.
Yes. So
it wouldn't necessarily fight with the kick drum.
You can still hear the distinction between the two.
Exactly.
Man, legendary. I hope you guys are soaking this up. That record, even with your choice of doing key bass, right? It mm-hmm. gave it a secular sound, right? Because we all know, we listened to Teddy Riley, we all heard the Moog and the E flat slide that you guys would do on the records, and it just, we had never heard that in gospel. And the Commission was doing some things like that, but for the 90s, for that to come out, it was right on target with what was being played secularly.
Oh wow.
And you guys, the smooth pads and then the horn, the brass hits, and it just was legendary. It was ahead of the curve, man. And it really shook up the world. And I want to give you your flowers for that, because that really changed the course of modern music, because from there, now we elevate and now music has to evolve.
Oh, wow. Appreciate that, Ben. I'm going to tell you. And I took that. I went to school with that from Kevin as well.
Yes, sir.
And because Kevin turned me on to the, I was already on the DX7.
Yeah.
In the whole nine, but Kevin had these, I think, what was it? It was the TX.
80, the 909. The T.
Not the 909. It was the Yamaha Brain to the to the DX7.
Yes, sir. Okay.
the TX7.
Okay. Okay.
Then plus he had a rack that had like they were single modules.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a few of those, so he turned me onto those, and they were pretty difficult though to program.
Okay.
Programming the sounds, because of with the algorithms,
Yeah.
and because you were dealing with those oscillators and stuff, and the whole
Turning
nine. So
knobs. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you guys were legendary. Like Kevin started it with the whole Bible stories and putting a
Yep.
vocoder and gospel music, and
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I was nervous for that long MIDI cable, man. And when he I was like, man, I hope that thing don't pop out.
Woo! Peter, don't you be afraid. Yeah, I mean, that was where technology is now. It's totally different,
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man. But shout out to that Finally Caring album. In closing, that was the perfect marriage of studio and live. You guys mastered the live session. I mean, Praying Spirit, Heaven, all those records, man, are timeless. And then how much pressure was it for you to have to redo that stuff? And they were already classics, because you're not supposed to mess with classics.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, we it really wasn't pressure.
Okay, good.
More so because we had done Donald and I had done one or two pieces with Twinkee. We did a song where we did and co-wrote together a song called "May the Lord God Bless You" real good.
May the Lord God bless you real good.
And so that, and then plus Donald and myself, we both we call it going to school, but we both were fans of the Clarks, in the whole nine. So we knew that stuff,
of course.
And I think for me more so the pressure was actually doing it in Detroit.
Yeah. In their hometown, right?
In their hometown, and the pressure, even for me, I can speak of was, I mean, you had the Thomas Whitfield Company in the house as well. So that, and then to my left, on the first pew, I look to my left, and it's Stephen Ford and Stanley Brown.
Shout out Stanley too.
Yeah, most definitely.
EP on that album, him and Hiram Hicks, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
The Island Days. Woo!
Yes,
good
sir.
times, man.
So I was more so nervous. For me, that was the nerve breaking point for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna say nerve breaking because I was nervous through it all.
You didn't play like it. My Lord.
Man.
Yes, sir. Oh man, so that was an amazing thing. And then you guys supported the live aspect, and then Pajam and Jay Moss and the other producers came, and it's a beautiful body of work that is, you can listen to it straight through right now.
It was a great marriage.
Perfect marriage, man.
I listened to that record just the other day, man. And just like you said, all the way through, man.
Yeah,
and then they, J Moss, wow, with that praise fest.
Yeah, man. Oh man, just the choice of drums, and it's just, if you're a music lover, you're drawn into that record because it's just great vocals, great music, great writing, great execution, the mix, everything was just blazing, man. It was a good time in gospel music, and that forced everybody every few years, right? In sports, the next running back the next quarterback resets.
Most definitely.
So every couple of years, somebody resets the standard of what it should be. Ty just did it. Ty just did it with his last recording, right?
Oh, love it too. Love it.
Ty just came out and set the bar real high. I remember a few years ago, 10 years ago, it was Thirsty, Marvin Sapp, right?
Yep.
That record set the bar, and everybody had to step their game up. So you guys had, all those records, I Never Seen It, and Seasons, and Prayer J-Baz, and all that stuff just set the bar, and you had to level up. Ricky Dillard set the bar up this last record,
Most definitely. I agree with all of that, man. And again, props out to those guys, man. And Aaron Lindsay,
Yes, sir.
You
Set the
know,
bar high.
most
Absolutely.
definitely. Aaron, Asaph,
Mm-hmm.
Mike
Yes.
B,
Mm-hmm.
all of those guys, man, uh, I honor those guys too,
Absolutely.
as
Yes,
well,
sir.
man, because like you said, man, they all
Mm-hmm.
set the bar, man. And especially, like you said, man, with this new Ty record,
Yes.
man, I can't get enough of that record, man. That record
It's fire,
it's
man.
amazing, man. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so props out to him and Thad and all the guys, man.
All the guys, man. I love the musician community. I love the brotherhood that we have with each other. And it's no jealousy, it's no animosity. It's
Most
just,
definitely.
but it inspires you. And I
Ye-
love that music inspires
It
because
does. Yep.
yes, sir. I love that music inspires. It makes you want to go home and be better.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I totally agree.
Yeah. Cause I can
I
imagine
totally agree.
Stevie Wonder hearing a Lionel Richie song and then going back home and like, I got, you know what I
That
mean? Like,
that part,
yeah.
that part, and I'm glad, we're in that phase, and even more so, for as you were stating, with Ty, with him to present uh, uh, that masterpiece, really,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm just so glad to see that we're still keeping it diverse,
Yes.
and that it's just not in one particular genre or one style,
Yes.
should we say, and that's not to say that anything is wrong with one particular style,
Yeah.
but we represent more than that,
Yes.
you know, and in our genre, especially, in terms of gospel music, I mean, we have a bowl of gumbo,
Yes, we do.
that we're able to display, so let that not get lost in one particular thing.
Yeah, but talk to me about that because where church is right now, right? We're stuck for the last 10 or 12 years or so. We've been
Yeah,
stuck in these simple progressions, and it's been really watered down and really they call it, CCM style has come into the black church,
yeah, yeah,
right? And we have gotten away from the Thomas Whitfield music, the Tri-City music, the stuff that you had to come home and practice to learn
right,
that felt like good gospel music.
yeah.
How do you feel about that? How we strayed away from that? Um,
um I'm gonna tell you, well, one, uh, uh as a musician,
yes,
you know uh it's somewhat disheartening, because if you're not careful, and again, I'm speaking now from a musician point of view,
yes,
you will find yourself, almost kind of stagnated,
yeah,
and I can say that from firsthand experience, because we were doing it so long, that at one point, you know uh, uh, I had really kind of stopped traveling and whatnot.
mm-hmm.
So again, I was playing that so long, and then I had to go. I remember I had to go out with LeJuene,
Mm-hmm.
and she got into this big ministry moment.
Yes.
And man, when I tell you, I felt like an alien, because I was like, oh man, I'm losing it.
Oh no.
From there, I made sure, that I had another outlet,
Yes.
on the other side of just doing that, because,
Yeah.
like I said, if you're not careful,
You
I
can.
also say, uh, to some point, I feel like yeah, I feel like sometimes, it's a trick of the enemy to strip out culture,
Absolutely.
at the same
Yeah.
time, there's nothing wrong with having the balance.
Yes,
you
sir.
know I'm not saying not to do that,
Right.
but at the same time, I'm not saying that's all you do,
Right.
because like I said, it's so much of us, and again, I'm not saying that you got to necessarily just go all the way back to Thomas Dorsey, but at the same time,
Right.
I think we still need to pay homage to that,
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
because it's funny, that when singles are up, and to dig themselves out of a hole, what do they go to? They go straight to a hymn.
Yeah.
Most of the time they go to a hymn. Great is our faithfulness.
Right.
And so that says something.
Right.
And then most of the time you go to those Andre Crouch of the blood songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's those classics.
Yeah.
That at a certain point, seems like they still have more of a effect.
Those songs never lose power, right? They still are the backbone of the church and the ministry, right?
And they came from a whole different place.
Absolutely.
And nowadays, I find that, and again, that's not to say to everybody, but I find that writers now are writing, conjuring up things just to be different.
Yeah.
That's almost like saying you going into the studio to make a hit,
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time when you're going with that mindset,
you
normally fail.
Yeah, that's right. You said that. I heard that in an interview. You said you don't make the music to make it a hit.
Exactly. You don't, man. Just go in, and going with the mindset of making the best song possible.
Right.
And in that, as I always say, let the song speak to you as it relates to what elements are needed in it.
Yeah.
And as a producer, learn and know when too much is too much. Learn when, okay, hey, it's time to put a period on this.
Yeah.
Because you can attack a song so much, and trying to make a song so perfect that you just strip away all of the heart from it,
all the feeling from it.
Yeah, exactly. And the song at this point is just mechanical.
I know you've done some recordings where maybe the vocals were distorted a little bit or the singer was hoarse, but the feeling of the record was so amazing. You're like, we're keeping that. We're not.
I'm telling you, man. I've done it where, like you said, the vocals were distorted.
Mm-hmm.
And the singers vocally might not have been at their best.
Yeah.
But because either the emotion, the performance, the heart of it was there, the ministry was there from it.
The anointing was in the room.
The anointing was there, and even in some scenarios, the pitch was off.
Yeah.
And even to this day, I don't always necessarily just mess with pitch.
Okay.
Now, I mean, unless it's just something that I can't deal with.
Right.
Or something that just need to be fixed.
Right.
But to me, the heart is in all of that, and that's why stuff becomes transparency, and is able to speak,
Absolutely. It's relatable, right?
It is very much so.
I love that, bro. All right, let's play a game. This game is called Rapid Fire. I'm gonna spit something out to you, and you just tell me the first thing out of a multiple choice. You just tell me what's your preference.
Okay.
All right. New York City or LA?
New York.
Chicago or Miami?
Chicago.
Pro Tools or Logic?
Pro Tools.
Really a Pro Tools guy, naturally.
Pro Tools. Yes, sir.
All right. Analog or digital?
Both.
Okay. Nord, Yamaha, Korg, or Roland?
Roland.
Of course you're Roland guy.
Yeah.
Keyscape or Addictive Keys?
Keyscape.
Okay. Contact or the Rolling Cloud? Like all the native instrument stuff.
I'm in the middle.
Okay.
Because I guess it depends on the production.
Okay. So what it calls for.
What it calls for. But I think I tend to go more to Rolling Cloud.
Okay. MPC 2000, XL, 3000, or 4000?
3000.
3000. Baseball caps or fedoras?
Fedoras. Yes, sir.
Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Burn that midnight oil, huh?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see. In-ears or headphones?
In-ears because the way they look.
Okay. Not the big old cans, right?
Not the cans, yeah.
Soul food or surf and turf?
Soul.
Soul food. Mexican food or Italian food?
Italian.
Italian. Let's see. Canada or Mexico?
Canada.
Canada. JetBlue or Delta?
Delta.
Delta. Pizza or Chinese?
Chinese.
Chinese. Wow.
Chinese. Low main vegetable.
Oh, got you. LeBron
Yeah.
or Michael Jordan?
Oh, come on, MJ.
MJ all day. Carolina boy.
Yes, sir.
Duke or UNC?
UNC. I'm a Tar Heel dude.
Carolina Blue.
Yes, sir.
All right. Carolina Panthers or Cowboys?
Cowboys.
Yeah,
all day.
Man. I knew you was a Cowboy. I knew it.
Yes, sir.
I saw your pictures. I'm a Cowboys fan too, so we fan.
Yes, sir.
All right. What's your favorite season?
Man, my favorite season is spring.
Spring. Do you like coats and boots or sneakers and shorts?
Coats and boots, man.
Layer up.
Yes, sir.
All right. That was fun. Thank you for participating, man. We're gonna
most
play another
definitely.
game. We're gonna play another game called Check My Catalog.
Okay.
And so we're gonna talk. I'm gonna play some snippets of some records you've done, and you just tell me a little backstory about it.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna go to the first song. How could anyone forsake gospel music that sounds like that, man? You know what I mean? Like, how do we go to where? How do we get where we are now from that? You know what I mean? Like,
man,
it just feels so good, man. And I think I told you that's the first record I think I knew that you did.
Okay.
And it just like I need the story. I need where did the intro? Who did the solo in the middle? Was that you?
I did. Yeah.
Amazing, bro. Who did? Was it your idea to do the SWV? You're the one. Lick in the middle.
Yep.
That's killer, man.
It was. Yep.
Wow.
And also, man, I'm gonna tell you, even doing so. Props up to Patrick Love.
Yes, sir.
The writer of that, man.
Patrick Love wrote that. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yep. Patrick Love wrote that song, man. Phenomenal writer.
Phenomenal writer. Definitely. That album is his. We're gonna talk about that later. Go ahead.
Yeah. And so. A little background. I'm gonna tell you, I was nervous about that record.
Really?
Not more so from the recording aspect or the performances. I was more so nervous because of where we did it at. You know, because it was in a church and acoustically, you know, the church was not acoustically sound. High ceiling, wood, you know,
bouncing all over the place,
and the old wood at that.
Okay,
you know, and so where Calvin was with the drums, you know, I was like, man, and where the choir was, you know, we didn't have baffles around it, so I was just nervous from the sonic point of view.
Yeah,
I was like, man, I was thinking, man, how is this record gonna sound when we get back, man?
Right.
and ironically, man, I mean, it was great isolation on the stuff, and it sounded great, man. And again, props up to Danny, you know, because a lot of people know that song also from the organ intro.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
that was Danny. That was our introduction to Danny too.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's amazing, man. Great memories, great record. Great feeling to that record. What were you using on that? Do you remember?
Yeah. So on that, the MP, and I think I used more of the P330
Okay.
on that record.
That's amazing, man. Great
Yeah.
record. Timeless record.
Oh, thanks.
All right, let's go to number 2. Turn it around, doctor.
Yeah. I forgot about that song.
Dad, you're a bad boy, man.
Heather Headley.
Heather
Headley, man. We had a great time doing that, man. That was Tri-City.
Yes,
I put in Tri-City on that record, and John Dillard on bass.
Yes, sir.
My son CJ, and Ira.
Yes, sir.
Ira on organ, man, and
you let him have the intro too. You gave him a little something in the intro.
That I did, yep. And had a great time doing that, man. We actually, I went to Chicago to record her vocal at the Hinge, and had a great time working with her. Mm-hmm. You know, very down to earth. You know, and
was that a production with you and Donald?
No, that was just me.
Just you.
Yeah.
Say you're amazing, man.
Oh man. You know,
this is what I'm talking about. The vocal, see, the vocals are so amazing that one would think Tri-City, because it was Tri-City, that Donald wasn't a part of it.
Right.
Nope, that was all you, bro.
No, that was me.
Salute, man. Wow.
I appreciate that, man.
Thank you for taking my little brother under your wing too, man.
Listen,
when he came from Bridgeport, when he moved to Charlotte, he told us, you know, he called back home and said he was working with you. We was like, yeah, right. You ain't working with no set.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, because I think if memory serves me correct, I think the first project I had Ira on was Patrick Lundy project.
Yes.
In the fellowship.
I think so, yeah.
And man, I'm telling you, Ira just has a way of doing these fill-ins.
Yes, sir.
But they're so unorthodox.
Yeah.
You know, and because
sneaky with it.
He's sneaky with it, but he has a certain thing that it's a feel that he does going down, but it's in another key.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, how is he? But his approach, man, and plus, you know, Ira, you know, great guy, you know, I love Ira, man. You know,
yes, sir. That's my little brother.
Yes, most definitely, man. Most definitely. That's my guy.
You were about to say between?
Yeah, between he and, so to me, he and Danny, we all play together alike.
Yes.
You know, so if I don't have Danny, I call Ira, you know. And
you stole him, because Ira just told me he's been with you for 18 years.
Yep.
He wouldn't even move back home because he was so locked in with you. He went to college. I'm like, when you coming back home? And he's like, I'm here to stay now. I'm with Seth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you gave him many opportunities, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you for doing that. But
I appreciate that.
You know, he was ready, because we definitely groomed him up before he left.
He already had the goods.
Yeah.
He definitely already had the goods.
Absolutely. That was a great record. Who else was on that record? I Know the Lord. It was you.
That was me. Guy named and rest in heaven. Guy named Fred McLean on. Fred. And I think Rick was on that as well.
Rick was on too. Okay. And then CJ played on too.
CJ was on the drums, Ira and John Dillard on bass.
Sir. John Dillard on bass.
And John plays with me at the church I play at as well.
Now, did you and Ira play at, when I first met you, you were at Pastor Pierce's church together, right?
Yep. So I think at that time Ira was actually on his way out.
Okay.
And so he was exiting and I was coming in.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, I remember, because I remember going there with him and then seeing you there.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think I saw you, if memory serves me correct as well, I think you guys, or it was a host of you guys from Connecticut at, I think it was at it might have been at Bethel, but I thought it was at Mount Zion as well. But I think it was at Bethel because I think
it was a big concert in North Carolina at this mega church, right?
At Mount Zion. Yeah.
Mount Zion. Okay. Yep. I remember that.
Yep.
Good times. Next record, please. Shout out to Taylor. Next record.
Just what he said.
Woo!
Come on, EL, just like Mouse Pop. Like the vision. Make it plain. That they may run and not faint. Though the vision is only for a while, it shall speak and not lie. For if the Lord said, you can count on, and he'll do just what he said. Any witnesses tonight? Say it again, right? Woo. Make it plain.
Said you are the ballad king, man.
Oh man.
You are the ballad king, man. The movements, the sound choices. Was that the E Grand or was that the P330 again?
That was the P330.
Again, wow.
That was the P330 with and I overdubbed the Time Rose with the DX7.
Okay.
Yeah.
That you guys all made us. We were all going to stores trying to figure out what your layers was. You know.
Oh wow.
Me and Eric Davis and Ira, we were all trying to figure out what you layered it with. I remember we found a Roland, I think the 1000, the big long gray one with no pitch bend.
Yeah.
We were like, we trying to sound like Ced and Kevin Bond because and we found the keyboard and told JJ, we were recording the second album, and we said, JJ, we need this keyboard because we got to sound like Ced. We need these sounds. And we bought this. It wasn't even 88. It was probably 76 key.
Okay.
Roland 1000, and it had.
I remember that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It was on sale for a few $100s, and we made JJ come on his lunch break and buy the keyboard because we needed it for the session. All because of being inspired by you guys.
I'm humble, man. Really.
So tell me about that record, Right Division. That was an epic record.
Man, and I had no idea that that album would do what it did. Especially that song. Again, props to Patrick Love again.
Patrick Love.
Patrick wrote that song, and he brought me in to. Actually, he and Donald actually brought me in because that was on. Donald was a part of the label at the time, Crystal Rose.
Crystal Rose, yes, I remember that.
Yep. So had a great time doing that record with Patrick and Jim Wright Mass Choir. Right, yeah. And on that was again John Dillard, again on bass. And ironically, John was playing at the church at Salem.
Okay.
At the time, which is where Jim Wright Mass Choir was at, and Jeremy on drums.
Jeremy was on drums.
So the live recording was just a 3-piece.
Oh, really? And you overdubbed everything else?
And I went and overdubbed the organ, and all the colors, everything else. Yeah.
Amazing. I never knew that. It sounds so full and so real.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's good stuff. Next record, please. We keep it moving. Man, said just promise us that you're never gonna stop, man.
Oh,
Please
man.
don't stop, man, because this is needed, man. This is so needed.
Oh, man,
Tell me about this record, epic record.
The Potter's House.
Yeah.
Bishop T.D. Jakes in the Potter House. Man, we had a great time. So the first half of that whole project we did in Kenya.
Wow, Kenya, Africa.
Yep, we went to Kenya. And
now there's some funny stories. Is it true that you had to do the record again?
We had to do the record again.
Wow.
We sure did. So because initially it was just myself in terms of musicians. Myself, Calvin was on drums.
Yeah.
Coon and Maurice Fitzgerald.
Wow, Reese. Shout out Reese.
Yep. And so it was just us three that went to Kenya, did the record, and we had to come back, do the record again, which I was grateful for, because it gave me a little more time to sit with the material. Was the sound not right, or what was wrong? No, it was a few technical issues.
Okay.
Yeah. So
were you using laptops then?
Using laptops. No, I use a laptop at the Potter's House.
Okay.
There, hold on. So what I did in Kenya, I had a 1680.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
But and thank God I did this. But I transferred the stuff that week to a laptop. Because it was so hot in Kenya, and it was overheating the 1680.
Yes. Wow.
You know, so 1680 got to a point that it wouldn't spit out audio.
Whoa.
You know, so thankfully, you know, I had.
Did you have to play straight up?
Huh?
Did you have to play straight up after that because the 1680 wasn't working?
Yep. But well, no, let me take it back, because I called it earlier in the week. So I was able to transfer it into thankfully we had a
Did you have an inbox?
Digit the 003.
The 003. Wow.
Yeah, it had the 003. So I transferred to that, and we came back and did the recording at Potter's House.
Yes.
That was man, those guys did a phenomenal job. I had Ira on organ, Fitzgerald, Maurice Fitzgerald on bass, Rick Walford on guitar.
Yes, sir.
Coon on drums, and let me see, horns, Lloyd Barry. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And again, man, great time doing that project with Bishop Jakes and Potter's House. And I'm taking that now. For me, the challenging part for that particular song in particular was I had to produce that song twice.
Okay.
Because initially I produced that song on the on Teresa Harrison's Gospel Today project.
Yes, you did.
And so I was like, okay, well, I can't go in and then do the song
same way.
Right,
gotta flip it.
Yeah, I had to flip it, man. So that's why that song, that version is a little more edgier than
the original.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so cool, man. Thank you for sharing that story, man. Let's do a couple more and then I'll let you go.
Most definitely.
This is fun though.
Likewise. I'm having a good time.
Come on, make some noise out there. Here we go. I was young, and now I'm old. What else? Seen a lot of situations unfold. Yeah. Been a lot of places. Met all kinds, but there's one
Classic, man. Talk
Never Seen
about
the
it.
Righteous. Oh
Yep.
man,
Yes, sir.
man, that record. The whole album is actually dear to my heart, man, because um, that was also a trying time for Donald.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, because Donald had lost some close people to him
Mm,
during that time, man. So we had to actually step the game up even more drastically. You
yeah.
know, in the whole nine. So that's a very dear record to me as well. But that particular song. A lot of people actually ask me about the intro with that
Yeah, I was
blah
gonna ask
blah
you.
blah 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 blah. So
Yeah.
and the way I came up with that was we were in rehearsal and Donald wanted me to so at the time I hadn't come up with the intro yet, you
Hmm.
know, so he was still teaching the vocals in the whole nine. And so I think we were at the point now. I think while he was teaching it, I was still covering with the band. So because some of those rehearsals were with still even before the week of was with band and singers as well.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I remember this was the week of, and so Donald's like, "Hey, said I want you to come up with a different intro."
A different one.
So what inspired me was due to the fact that for the rehearsal, I was rehearsing on a wordly, on a
Oh
word
wow.
list.
Yeah.
So I was like, blah, blah, you know, and I'm blah, 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 and because of the sound of the word list,
Of course. Yeah.
inspired me to play it that way.
Of course. Yeah.
So I'm blunk, blah, 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 blunk, and it stuck.
Yeah.
And so that's how I came up with that,
And
man.
that's how a hit record was made.
Yep. And so that was Coon on drums,
Yeah.
Reggie Graves on guitar,
Hmm.
Danny on organ, and Mel on guitar.
That's amazing, man. That's
Yep.
your crew. That was your crew.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mel on bass. I said guitar.
Mel
Yeah,
on
Mel
bass.
on bass.
Mel on
Yep.
bass.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still? Yeah, I know you say you don't travel as much. Do you enjoy being home, or do you like
Love
being on the road? You love being home.
being at home, man. And I'm gonna tell you what actually one of the reasons why I stopped traveling so much as well
Hmm.
was because I was out. I remember I was out on tour, and I came in enough time to wash clothes in the whole nine, and was going right back out.
Right back out.
I was going right back out to do a session,
Hmm.
and I remember I went in the boys. I went into each one of their bedroom, you know, to see them off
Yes.
before they were going to school. And my youngest, he said, "Dad, what are you doing home?" I said, "What you mean? I live here." He said, "I didn't think you lived here anymore."
Oh my goodness.
Man, hit me like a ton of bricks.
Oh,
You know, so there I constructed and built out a studio in my garage at the time.
yes. Yeah.
You know, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I can't let this come in the middle of my family.
No, I understand.
Yep.
Do you enjoy creating the song or performing the song more?
Actually, the most I actually enjoy creating it.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm
and
sure.
yeah, I really do. You know, I love that side of it.
Yeah.
You know, and when I get asked that question, you know, when I get asked the question, what do I love mostly doing? I love mostly creating, and even on the other side of recording the post side of
The
it.
post, yeah, all the color.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
You know, and even digging into the editing side of it. I
Okay.
love that, man. I
Vocal
love
stacks and everything. You love post
man.
production.
I
Yeah.
love everything about the post side of it.
Yeah.
You know, as well. So, and you know what I think what I love mostly about the performance side of it is to, and even to this day, I'm in awe, to see the reaction of how people gravitate to the songs.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is always, amazing to me, to see a piece of art or a seed that you created or helped to create, and the way that it translates,
Yes.
to different ones. So that to me, is always very humbling.
Yes, sir. So you've been blessed to travel the world. You've been blessed to have hit records. You've been blessed to, be called in to do other people's records. And then you've won awards. You won Stellar Awards, on the gospel level, and then you've won on the national level, on the Grammy level.
Yeah.
How was that experience, you winning the Grammy? And I think it was in 2010.
Oh man, let me tell you, I winning that, man, was so electrifying, because I mean, it sounds cliche, but just to be nominated,
Yeah.
was rewarding enough for me, but I'm gonna tell you, man, the funny thing about that was, so we had let's see, it was LeJuene and a part of my team,
Okay.
that was with us, and as I heard, so it was what does he go by? B Slade. He goes by
B Slade Tone.
B
Yeah.
Slade. Yeah. So he presented the category,
Okay.
and as he was reading the names down, and when it got to and the winner is,
Yeah.
I felt myself already rising before they even called the name,
Wow.
and it was like, I had affirmation from God, and he confirmed to me that whole moment, man. Really, it was like I almost had a out of body experience.
Wow, that's amazing. Who did you win with? What did you win for? What project?
It's Oh Happy Day.
Okay.
Oh Happy Day, and then also so the other project I had produced on as well, Headley, her project was
The
right
I Know the
after
Lord
that.
project.
Yeah.
So did you win 2 Grammys?
Yeah,
Come on,
and it was announced right after that.
You won 2 the same year.
And I heard.
I didn't even know that. I thought it was 1.
We were in the back. And I heard hollering. Yeah. And I said, I recognize those 2 voices. So it was my assistant and LeJuene. I was like, what are they hollering for? Right. and so they had texted me and said that the project won a Grammy as well. So
and that who was on that Oh Happy Day project with you?
So on the Oh Happy Day project with me was CJ.
Who was the major artist? Who was the artist that sang?
Oh, the artist. So it was Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah actually did the title cut. Okay. It was Queen Latifah. Michael McDonald. Wow. Patty Griffin, Mavis Staples. Who else? Bon Jovi. Wow. And it was a host of other people on that project, man. So had a great time doing that project. Wow. Great time doing that project, man. And then you won for Headley. Was that the Audience of One? Yep. Okay. And that's what the I Know the Lord record was on that album too. Exactly. Yeah. Wow. Congratulations, man. I know it was a little while ago, but still, we all work in this industry to achieve that, Yeah. And that is the earthly reward that we are seeking as musicians and creatives. Oh, wow. To get that. And you have 2 of them. I remember going to John Yash's house. We were mixing and I went in his studio and he had 4 of them on the mantle. Yeah.
And
Most
then I
definitely.
went in the bathroom and he had another one in the bathroom. I'm like,
Yeah.
he just has random Grammys around the house.
Exactly, man. And what did he have, like upwards of 9 or something like that,
Yeah,
man?
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
just in different rooms of the house. I'm just like, wow.
yeah.
Ultimate flex, but that was amazing.
That part.
Yeah, man. I'm so happy that someone from our genre got to represent us that way, and one of our mentors, you know. So I'm proud of you for that, and
Most
we want to
definitely.
just celebrate you for that, man. I'm
No,
gonna let you
I
go.
appreciate it. Okay.
I know you're a family man.
Most
At
definitely.
what age did you get married?
Oh, so we were early.
Yeah.
I was 19 and LeJuene was 18. So we'll be celebrating 33 December 17th.
December 17th, 33 years of marriage. How difficult was it balancing career and family?
So at first it was sort of, well, I'm not gonna say really difficult, you know,
Yeah.
because I think the one thing that we had to our advantage was, especially early on,
Yes.
we were able to travel together.
Okay. Good.
You know, so that made it easy. Then plus, you know, with both of us being in the same industry,
Yes.
you know, that made it even easier. You know, because you have a spouse that understands what you do, and
Yes.
vice versa. You know,
Right.
so
Because she was in demand just as much as you were.
and still is.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and even tonight she's gone.
That's
You know,
amazing.
you know, so with that, you know, but the more that I started producing
Yeah.
and whatnot, you know, I found that, you know, it started getting challenging, you know, to start balancing,
Yes.
you know, that time. And I'll tell you, sometimes I say, you know, that this can be a handicap with having your own studio.
Yeah.
You know, is because so now my studio is not in my home anymore.
Okay.
But at that time, you know, having unlimited time,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in the whole nine, you know, and you mess around and find yourself just spending hours in there, and then, you know, I know it's at that point when the June sticker hit in there, said, "All right now,"
Exactly.
you know, you know, but I'm telling you, to me, family is foremost,
Yes, sir.
the most important aspect of my life. You know, I mean, up under God,
Yes, sir.
you know, family is all to us, man. You know, and not just to me, but that's LeJuene and I.
Yes.
You know, we thrive on family. You know, we thrive on family, and trying to balance out that time, and especially when we started having kids as
Mm-hmm.
well. You know, we made sure that because our middle and youngest son, they were both heavily involved in activities in
Yes.
school and sports in the whole nine. So
Right.
if one couldn't be there, we made sure that the
The
other
other.
one
Yeah.
was there, you know, in the whole nine. And then especially with CJ, you know, making sure that we groomed his gift
Yes.
as well, and always instilled into him.
Yes.
Yeah, but not just him, but our other two sons as
Yes,
well.
sir.
You know, no matter, you know, how good you may be, you know, number one, you know, never get to the point that you think it's about you.
Yeah.
You know, you think it's about your gift. Always realize as well, there's the next man that can always do it better.
Absolutely.
You know,
And
so
cheaper.
and cheaper. Yeah,
And cheaper.
and cheaper. You know. So, but having said that, you know, family has always been important to us. You know,
That's
so even when, of course, we're empty nesters. We've been empty nesters for a while.
good.
You know, but even when LeJuene and I are away from each other, we make sure we pray. You know,
Yes.
when we start our day, you know, and when we are ending it, you know, we make sure we pray together. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
as well. You know, so that's important to us.
Yes. Yes, you are extremely blessed man. You have three and three sons, and you have grandchildren, and you have
5.
five grandchildren. Wow! So you are Father Abraham.
Yes, sir. That part.
So I mean, and then you have a supportive wife. You know, beautiful supportive wife. You guys were the ideal power couple
Oh
that we
wow.
all desire to have. You know, if you're a musician, of course you wanted a singer. You wanted to have somebody that would understand
Most definitely.
what you
Most
did,
definitely.
and you guys were that example for us. So thank you for being that. Thank you for sharing your sons with us. CJ is my little guy. Like
Yes, sir.
I got a lot of love for CJ. And I never met your other sons, but I'm sure that they were raised exactly like CJ, and he's always lovable. He just came
Most
to
definitely.
Atlanta. He just came to Atlanta 2 or 3 months ago, and I got to hang out with him and Ira
Yeah,
when they were
yeah.
here. And it's just always love, man. I remember CJ when he was 13 or 14 years old. You were doing the Monique Walker stuff.
Yep. And I remember, man, even then, I remember telling Coon, I was like, in just a little while,
Yeah, he's coming.
CJ, he get ready to hit the seat, man. So yeah.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, great job with him, man. He's always memorable, respectful, and just he's one of the iconic musicians of this next generation.
Most
But he's
definitely.
still old enough to have those good morals and principles that I would always say your kids are the last generation of
Yeah.
the old church.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah,
when they understand, because it's a shift that happened after that.
that's right.
But
I totally agree.
but I thank you for giving them that solid upbringing, those true Carolina ways.
Most definitely.
They're gentlemen.
Yep. As I call it, that's that big mama in me.
Yes, sir. Said last question, man. How do you want to be remembered?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, one, of course, I know this sounds cliches, but one that I was one that loved God, loved my family, in spite of whatever else is going on,
Yeah.
Or how good anything else outside of that is going on, one that always put his family first.
Yes, sir.
And one, even outside of the music, one that always represented integrity. That's important to me.
Yes.
Integrity and having great character.
Yes.
And like I say, I think the music will speak for itself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let God do what He does with that as well.
Yes.
But outside of that, what's most important to me is that that I love God, I love my family, and that I'm a guy of character,
Yes.
good character,
Absolutely.
with integrity.
Yeah, and you are one amazing musician, keyboard player, and just a good guy, man. And I always
I
say
appreciate that, man.
it's time for the good guys to win. And said you've been winning for a long time, bro.
Oh man, I appreciate that, man. As I say, I'm just trying to keep my shoes tied, man.
Well, said thank you for your time, man. I appreciate you. I don't take your time for granted. You could be doing anything, making money, doing something else, and I know your time is money.
Hey,
I'm
man, I had a great time.
That's dope, man. Thank you so much, man. Your support means the world to me, man. Like I said, I started off as a fan, and now I consider myself a brother, man.
Most definitely. Likewise.
And I'm grateful for you taking the time out. Thank you for dropping gems and inspiring the next generation, because all we want to do is just give you the tools that people need to keep going, to find their niche and stay in the pocket and just stay in that groove. And you're helping us do that.
Oh, man, I appreciate that, man. Love you, man.
Thank you. Love you too, man. Episode 6. That's a wrap, man, with the great Cedric Thompson. I am so honored that you guys came out to be with us. I'm happy. Like, can you believe it? I had Cedric Thompson on my show. Oh my God. Wow. I mean, episode 6 is over, and we're going to move on to the future, to episode 7. We're going to move on to episode 7 with my friend and brother, Tamir Muhammad, film producer for HBO, Warner Brothers. He's from my hometown. We went to high school together, and he is a blazing success. This guy is tearing up the game with his content that he's presenting to HBO and Warner Brothers. He's from my hometown of Bridgeport, Connecticut. He's in New York City, and he is killing the game. And he's going to come talk to us about some deals that he has and future content, and how he got where he got from the city of Bridgeport all the way to the skyscrapers of New York City. So you don't want to miss that hometown love. My boy, 203, Tamir Muhammad. It's going to be on episode 7 on In the Pocket with Chip G. Thank you for tuning in, watching, and hanging out with me and Ced. It was a great experience. I got to hang with a GOAT. And so I'm hyped. I'm going to let you go because I'm flying right now. Thank you for coming and chilling with me. Stay in the pocket, and I'll see you soon.